Alrighty guys, here we are at the leg extension. So this one here is going to work your quads. The movement is just literally pushing the weight out with the resistance on the front of the leg. So in terms of setup, there's a few different things to look at here. I'll just jump across. So like the leg curl, the seat is adjustable. There's a black pull tab at the back of the seat. You can move the seat backwards and forwards. Adjustment point down low for the foot pad, which goes across the front of the ankle. But like the leg curl, the most important part of the leg extension is this right here. So this is the pivot point. Again, we want to get set up with the pivot point. So if we have a look, we're going to grab a seat. Now, what we want is our knees to be aligned with the pivot point. You can see that this seat is far too far forward for me. I can't sit back any further than this, and my knee is miles off being aligned with this pivot point. So I'm just going to grab onto this black tab at the back here, slide myself back, and now you can see my knees are aligned with the pivot point. My knee position now is safe, which is great. Now, you can't quite see in this shot, but what we want with the foot pad is for it to be across the front of the ankle or across the front of your laces on your shoes. And you can just adjust that again with the black tab on the machine itself. So make the adjustment so the pad sits across the front of the ankle. Finally, we've got a range of motion adjustment here. Okay, so as a general rule, we want to set to number 1. That gives us the greatest range of motion possible. So it's going to allow our legs to work through and the muscle to work over the greatest distance possible. If you have a knee injury, if you've got perhaps some feedback from a professional physio, something like that, you might want to adjust the range of motion. You definitely can do that simply by changing this, pulling this pin here and adjusting to a different number. So number 1, greatest range of motion. Number 5, least range of motion, or smallest range of motion. Okay, so with this one, we're going to hold ourselves in, keep the butt pulled into the seat using the handles. We're just going to fully extend those legs. We're going to come all the way back down without letting the weight hit the stack. Okay, so holding yourself in, full extension, all the way back down, weight doesn't hit the stack, slow and controlled movement. Again, knees aligned with the pivot point. Pretty straightforward. That's the leg extension. The most important part, both the leg extension and the leg curl, is the pivot point. We want to ensure that our knees align with that pivot point. That's the leg extension.